Details surrounding the plot and storyline of Spider-Man No Way Home have been notoriously scarce for the past several months, and only now, upon the final release of both trailers as well as a handful of TV spots, are clues just beginning to surface for the film. We have been able to surmise much of the plot of No Way Home via these recent release promotional materials, but some keen-eyed viewers have taken notice on a few curious details that are worth mentioning and breaking down. The member of the cast in question is Jamie Foxx's Electro, who was last seen in Mark Webb's The Amazing Spider-Man 2, acting opposite Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. The last we saw him, he was seemingly defeated by Garfield's Spider-Man, at the time thought to be dead. However, many questions still lingered about his survival and eventual reappearance in Spider-Man No Way Home. In his new TV spot, however, not only is he alive and well, but he is also sporting a new look, as well as new gear, including what appears to be an Arc Reactor. This has led many to wonder how exactly he obtained such an incredibly powerful device, as well as what it might mean for his character and the story of No Way Home. Before we get into this though, the giveaway for the Spider-Man Far From Home hot toy continues. If you're interested in entering to win this highly posable, highly detailed figure, all you have to do is like this video, subscribe with notifications on, follow me on Twitter, and tell me in the comments down below which member of the Sinister 5 or 6 you're most excited to see. Now, let's continue with the Arc Reactor breakdown. Stick with us, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, as we delve into the most compelling theories regarding how Electro got his hands on an Arc Reactor, as well as the ramifications for his character and the storyline of No Way Home as a whole when it eventually releases this December. Electro obtaining an Arc Reactor is hugely deadly for all of the Spider-Men involved, making him potentially the most powerful member of the Sinister Six. The main ramification that this would have is that Electro would now have a completely self-sustaining power supply in order to feed him all of the energy he could need throughout the duration of the movie. Tony Stark has called the full-size Arc Reactor a beacon of self-sustaining clean energy, and it stands to reason that his latest models that were miniaturized and designed to be utilized in the Iron Man technology are the same as his Stark Power prototype, only smaller. But what does this mean specifically for the character of Electro? Well, it means there is no sufficient way to cut Electro off from his power supply, and he could feasibly remain a threat in virtually any environment, even somewhere where electricity is scarce. It could also feasibly explain his drastic design overhaul and be a valid in-universe explanation as to why he looks so vastly different than his Amazing Spider-Man counterpart from the Mark Webb franchise. We have theorized that the design alterations are due to the available supply of electricity and energy that he has around him, and that while he has the same consciousness, thoughts, and memories, he must use the energy within his surrounding environment to manifest a physical body, pulling the electricity and energy from a different universe, which is why he is yellow in this depiction when he was blue in the Amazing Spider-Man series, because the energy from the different universes is slightly different, and therefore the difference in his coloration. By this logic, the Arc Reactor could give off a different electrical signature that allows him to create a different physical form than the energy form from the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which would explain this new design. The question still remains, however, as to how exactly he managed to get his hands on such a precious device in the MCU, which has spawned a myriad of different theories. The first theory is that No Way Home will not only draw in villains from other universes, but will reprise previously established MCU antagonists and utilize them in the film, even if it's on a smaller scale than before. In the Sinister 5, there are quite famously, again, 5 antagonists to date, just one short of creating the first live-action roster of the Sinister Six, which has been a staple of the comics lore for years. If there is going to be a 6th member, then there is one in particular Spider-Man villain who could fit in the bill, as well as be able to provide the other members with the necessary technology to augment their already formidable powers. The specific candidate that this popular theory proposes has not only already been introduced, but has a direct link to Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, who quite famously sought to rob the Avengers Moving Day plane in Homecoming, and coming across a full case of Arc Reactors in the process. While Toomes was taken into custody at the end of the film, he still had a team behind him that could have helped to smuggle some of the wreckage away before the authorities arrived. And specifically, we are talking about a man by the name of Phineas Mason. In the comics, Mason utilized the moniker of the Tinkerer, and was a renowned inventor and engineer who was known to create elaborate gadgetry in order to augment and enhance both both himself as well as other villains. If he had access to the wreckage of the moving day plane at the end of Homecoming, then he might be the elusive supplier for not only Electro, but the rest of the Sinister Five, and could potentially be dubbed the sixth member. We know that Doc Ock will be upgrading his tentacles with Stark nanotechnology, though it is implied to be via the demolition and reuse of the Iron Spider suit. But perhaps he is the one to suggest to the group that they can all use Stark tech to augment their abilities, so long as they had the available resources as well as the engineer in order to assist them. There is a conspicuous shot of the Green Goblin wherein he is not wearing his iconic helmet, but instead he is in a hood and goggles. But it seems as if the rest of his gear has been upgraded as well, as this may come after a meeting with either Toombs or the Tinkerer. This could allow the sixth member of the team to be an innocuous cast member who has already made an established presence before and does not need time devoted to him to develop or an introduction, and obviously is more of a behind the scenes member of the Sinister Six. The second prevailing theory is that this could serve as the introduction, or rather the reintroduction, of characters who were set to make their appearance later in Phase 4. They could specifically stand to benefit from upcoming Armor Wars series starring Don Cheadle as Colonel James Rhodes. The events of this series could detail the distribution of various components of the Iron Man armor, including the science of the Arc Reactor and who now has their hands on this technology following Tony Stark's passing. If there is a third-party black market dealer who has been able to collect the Arc Reactor technology after Tony's death, then their inclusion could directly set up the events of Armor Wars and introduce a substantially powerful player for both Armor Wars and potentially even Ironheart. This could allow the likes of Justin Hammer or members of AIM to make a resurgence in the MCU, as has been theorized by many, or allow for the introduction of a completely new character or group who has yet to debut in the MCU thus far. A small window of time to introduce a relatively minor character who will prove to play a larger part in the future of Phase 4 could allow Marvel to deepen their connective tissue between the multiversal arc and the more grounded Earthbound storylines that are going to need to be balanced throughout the future of the MCU and the multiversal saga. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of these theories? Where do you think Electro got an Arc Reactor? And do you like either of these theories more than the other? Also, what do you think of the implications of Electro now having an Arc Reactor and a nearly endless supply of energy? As always, my friends, again, thank you so much for watching the channel. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and don't forget to enter the Far From Home's figure giveaway. I hope to see you guys in the next video, and have a great day.